$1,000 shopping spree only at Buymark.com.
Larry H. Miller dealerships are geared for service, repairing over 16 million vehicles. We have 40 years of experience, master-trained technicians who can handle any and every repair, and state-of-the-art facilities. Our locations are convenient to you with fast service, from oil changes to major repairs. We are ready to help. Take your car care to the next level at Larry H. Miller dealerships, driven by you.
The First Alert Weather Team on Idaho's News Channel 7.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football. Bishop Kelly hosting Ridgeview this evening. The Knights looking for 14-0. Ridgeview had the ball, but that's when the Knights, Weichert as well as Henry Lodge team up to get the quarter. Connects with Jack Hefner. He barely gets stopped. We'll finish it off from there. BK rolls tonight. Football will.
Hefner in the house over at BK, by the way. Future Montana State Bobcat Sean Austin win, and the first Austin connects with Colt lines for the Tutty 7-6 Cuna. Francis gonna go to the air, showing off the top. The bread basket. You would take this one 34.
Kid should be without a coat in winter. Coat draft.
New coats for kids and teens at any CapEd location, or donate on. Help will make a difference. For more information or to donate online, KTVB.
But you can help her keep her eyes on the road. Sound. That's all.
That's good advice.
Day. Your kind of truck. This is your month. Ford. Great deal. Drive them. Now during Truck Month. Buy 4 with $1,000 bonus cash.
It's our 50th Meridian Megastore, and to sell money, we from our large in-stock selection. England custom Tempur-Pedic mattresses, easy white. Join at Idaho's family-owned DeMeyer.
Valley Subaru at the Idaho Center Auto Mall. Subaru. Snow skis, climbing gear, camping tent, backpacks.
Everyone sees you when, and always keep your eyes on the path ahead. Choose the settlement. You do one call, that's all.
Friday Night Football. KTVB YouTube page. Eagles impressive. See ya on the Well, it's hard to believe, but it was only about a month ago that the high school football season really kicked into full swing. But tonight, we reached the end of the regular season, at least at the 5A classification. You know, 2020 has thrown a lot of surprises at us, but tonight we kind of got a unique matchup. Will Hall was there. Will, with the repotting of the 5A SIC in the middle of the season, we had a 5A SIC Mountain West Conference Championship game this evening between Capital and Rocky Mountain. I got to say, I'm a fan of this. I kind of hope they do it in the future.
I was just going to say that, JT. You stole the words right out of my mouth. I'm right there with you. I hope they do this for years to come. It's just a lot of fun for all these teams, especially on opposite pods, and then they get to meet one another on the final week of the regular season. By the way, I'm holding my arms crossed like this. I'm not trying to be a bro or be like a tough guy or anything. I'm just a little cold. I'm a little chilly out here in the parking lot, but yeah. 5A SIC championship game, fingers crossed we can get this for years to come. Let's go ahead and get to the highlights from earlier this evening. Rocky Mountain hosting Capital in this inaugural 5A SIC title game. Pick things up in the third quarter, Rocky up 29-6 at halftime. Standout quarterback Kobe War going to the air, connecting with CJ Jacobson for the big gain along the sidelines. That would lead to this. Kobe with the bootleg, diving towards the pylon. He's in for the score, 36-6. Rocky in complete control, offense, defense, special teams. I mentioned defense right there. Justin Douglas coming up with the big TFL. After a stop, it's back to work, back to the air. War over the middle to Jacobson. That one results in a tutty. All Rocky Mountain in this one, 49-13 the final. The Grizz stay undefeated heading into the playoffs. Over at East Junior High tonight, Mountain View hit the road. The Mavs taking on Coach Smart and Timberline. Pick things up in the first. Mavs, standout leader of their offensive attack. It's quarterback Jake Ferris on the keeper. Weight room rushing score right there, big fella. 6-0 Mountain View out in front. After a stop, it's back to the ground, and Ferris making a couple guys miss. What a juke there, Big Jake. Nice run for the touchdown. 12-0 Mountain View in front. Then Ferris going to the air, connecting with one of his top targets, Caden Chan, one of the better wide receivers in the state. So fun to watch, especially with the ball in his hands in the open field. Big game there. That leads to this. Ferris to Mason Keelty for the touchdown. All Mountain View tonight, 39-14. The Mavs now won 3 in a row. Heading on over to Meridian, the Warriors hosting Bora this evening. We're gonna pick things up in the first. Scoreless, Lions on the attack, driving down the field. Corbin McCarney to Bradley Toth inside the 5, but that's where the drive would stall out. Meridian would get a big fourth down stop, the ball back to the offense, and back to standout quarterback Malachi Martinez up top. What a rainbow there to Quentin Riley for the big game. That was a beautiful pass. Speaking of, there's another one. Malachi to Chaz Farrar. What a grab in the end zone. It's 6-0 Meridian out in front. After a stop, it's back to work and back to the air. Malachi Martinez just dropping dimes all season long. And there again, it's Davis Thacker making a defender miss. He's all the way into the end zone. Meridian takes this one, 33-0 the final. I believe we have Skyview hosting CUNA up next. CUNA and future Montana State Bobcat quarterback commit Sean Austin trying to pull off the road win in the first. Austin connects with his favorite target, Colton Teeter. That is a dynamic duo. Colton down the sidelines into the end zone, 7-6, Caveman out in front. Back comes Skyview, Clayton Franson. Look at the touch, beautiful ball right there. That's Camden Young hauling it in for the score, 13-7. Skyview retakes the lead. Back and forth affair in the first. Fourth down trickery for the Cavemen Austin on the throwback. Look at that, slinging it. And Braden White all alone in the end zone for the score. 14-13. Cuna retakes the lead, but back comes Skyview. It's Cade Salois punching it in for the score. Skyview ends up taking this one tonight at home. 34-14 the final. JT, back over to you.
All right, we got more Friday Night Football coming your way. How about this? The Eagle Mustangs hosting Centennial. These two teams actually played just a week ago, with Eagle winning big. Pick it up, Mustangs with the rock early on. Ben Ford to Jackson Buck for the nice connection there. On the next play, though, how about this? Maybe the one and only mistake on the night for the Mustangs. That's Gavin Osuna that comes up with a big interception there for the Patriots. They were unable to capitalize, as that Mustang defense was just stout tonight. You can see right there a 4-and-out, and then it's Ford back to the air. Yeah, that's more like it. The touchdown pass is good, and then there was a whole lot more where that came from. I mean, a whole lot more where that came from. Eagle behind their defense and their offense. And anything else, they go on to roll Centennial tonight. 57-6 the final. Mustangs looking good. Rob, anybody that kind of follows you on social media knows how much Bishop Kelly means to you. The last couple years you've served as a basketball manager and a football manager, but this year you decided to put on the pads and actually play for the football team. Why was that the case?
I just felt like the time was right. I mean, managing for the past few years, I've been able to see that we have a lot of talent coming up, especially from JV and the returners we had from last year on varsity. I could just tell that we are on the verge of doing something special, and I really wanted to be a part of it, even if it's not significant minutes.
This wasn't all about playing time for you. So how talented is your roster over at Bishop Kelly, and how do you contribute?
I provide emotional support on the bench for the most part. I think we have the biggest senior class in history, at least in Coach Brennan's era. But our roster, I think we could probably match up with anybody in the state. You know, after an early season loss, the Knights have been pretty hot. What is special about this team? Why have they been able to kind of regroup, and now you're, arguably the 4A team to beat in the state, depending on who you ask? Well, we knew that we were going to be capable of some special things. The loss against Emmett, that just kind of brought us all together as a team. Before that game, we were all just a group of guys. Now we're a whole team, and we're all together now. It just really made sure we were focused on the task at hand and the ultimate goal. Whether it be Keegan at quarterback, Seth at running back, you guys have a pretty dynamic 1-2 punch. How talented are those guys? Those guys are the best in the state combined. I mean, at least respectively for their own positions. Keegan can play any position he needs to, but Seth is just, he's a bell cow, man. There's just something different about Seth, that he just has that it factor. When you need a big play, he's going to be the one to give it to you, and he's just so determined. He works super hard, hardest worker in the game. I mean, I can't say enough nice things about him. Rob, regardless of the year, the football player that I talked to over at Bishop Kelly, there's one thing that stays consistent, and that's the expectations that you guys will compete for a state title. Can this year's team get it done, and how badly do you want to play for Coach Brennan? Freshman year, I didn't think I wanted to. Now I really want to. And I think I can speak on behalf of the other 61 players on our varsity team. We all want that too. We all want to be at the top playing against the best competition for a state championship. And the fact that you're competing with your brothers for something bigger than yourself, it just creates a buzz that can start with the football team, and then it eventually spreads to the whole school. When that happens, I can't even describe it. It's just so cool and really an honor to be a part of. All right, on that note, the Knights, one of the hottest teams in the 4A classification. They hosted Ridgeview tonight. We picked this one up with Bishop Kelly already leading early. That's Colby Weichert and Henry Lodge teaming up for the quarterback sack on 4th down. The Knights then start to attack. Keegan Croteau connects with Jack Hefner. Yep, another Hefner over there at Bishop Kelly. He barely gets knocked out short of the goal line.
They mark it at the 2. Seth Noth just finishes it off from there. I don't know how many touchdowns he has this year, but it's a lot. The Warhawks trying to stay in this one. They just did not have enough firepower. That's Keegan to Jason Bus right before halftime. That made it 27-0. BK wins tonight, 54-7 the final. That's their 6th straight victory. And by the way, my guy Rob, spell it with 2 B's. He says that he got into the game, had half a tackle. We round up on this show, Rob. A full stop for you. And now one has to wonder who's going to stop Bishop Kelly, because the Knights absolutely rolling at this point in the season. We welcome in Will Hall like we always do to kind of wrap up the show, Will. And I want to get back really quick to Meridian, because I feel like that's a program that you've seen a few times this year, and they've came a long ways in just a couple of seasons. A big part of it is their quarterback wide receiver connection that they're only juniors, Will. So I know we still got to finish up this season and see what Malachi Martinez and Davis Thacker can do in 2020. But that might be the team to beat come 2021.
JT, we have telekinesis. I was thinking about this while I was driving around town tonight, going to some of the games. I was thinking about, if you had a pick of the top underclassmen quarterback at the prep level in the state of Idaho, who would you take?
I mean, Malachi's, if he's not at the top of that list, he's darn near competing to be number 1.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh man, he is so much fun to watch, and just throws a beautiful ball, and he's got some targets out there and some wideouts that are big and tall and lanky, that are very athletic, and just a fun offense to operate in, I would assume, if I played quarterback back in the day, which of course I did not. But yeah, it looks like he's having a lot of fun, and so are his teammates. And Cross Antonacci's a big, tough running back that helps out with their ground game. But Meridian's offense, I tell you what, they can play and go head-to-head with any team in the state, and that offense will allow them to be able to go toe-to-toe with any team in the 5A playoff field.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be fascinating. You know, Will, when they did the repotting at the 5A in the 5A SIC in the middle of the year, you know, it was a hot topic of discussion, because you put a lot of the perennial powers in one pod, and that obviously had some people kind of upset. I think it's kind of played out the way that we all thought it would, and that pod has shown a lot more strength. Not only Rocky Mountain dismantling Capital, who has some significant injuries we should point out, but also Mountain View, 3 straight wins, a big crossover win tonight, and now they have a chance to keep their season alive.
Yeah, JT, I'm glad you brought up Mountain View, because Coach Benedict in company and the Mavs, they got things rolling now. I think finally they got things clicking. They are rolling offense, defense. It showed tonight in the road win at Timberline. But anytime you got a senior leader quarterback like you do with Jake Ferris, like the Mavs have this fall, like I said with Meridian, you can compete with any team in the 5A playoff field moving forward. And it just looks like their offense is clicking a little bit better than it was early on in the season. Leighton Smithson, Hayden Chan, tight end Mason Gilty, who had a touchdown tonight. The Mavs have found their footing, I think, and reeled off 3 straight wins. And let's keep in mind, the first week of the season, they opened up with Rocky Mountain, who of course is arguably the favorite in the entire state, and the Mavs went toe-to-toe with them. They only lost by 3. So I think Mountain View has confidence moving forward in the 5A playoff field. They can go head-to-head with any team in this state.
Yeah, you know, this is something that we've seen before over at Mountain View at other times, Will. And you know, sometimes their offensive identity can be a little bit of a work in progress, but eventually those coaches over there are so solid, they figure it out. I go back a couple of years ago when they decided to get Joey Elwell the ball as much as they could, and he ended up even playing wildcat quarterback down in the red zone at times, and that worked out for them and boosted their offense. So I got to say, now that Mountain View's starting to get it rolling, I hate to be the team that has to face them, because they're a pretty darn talented and deep and tough 3-3 team. So we'll have to see how that goes. Well, coming out of those, that last set of highlights, we saw what Bishop Kelly did. A quick shout out to Logan, who's been awesome all season long. He's helped us get highlights each and every Friday Night Football. We couldn't do this show without him. We are so appreciative of him. But he went over there tonight, and now Bishop Kelly, after a season opening loss, has won 6 straight. And I think you're starting to see a real pep in the step of the Knights. And it all starts with their quarterback Keegan Croteau and their running back Seth Noth, who are as a dynamic of a 1-2 punch at the 4A level, maybe in the state of Idaho, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't forget our guy Rob, by the way. That was just an awesome story, JT. That was a great interview. I loved it. But yeah, as you were saying, real quick before we talk about BK, got to give a shout out to our photographer, Logan. He's a rock star. He's a stud. He just goes out and gets things done and goes to as many games as he possibly can in between all the other craziness of his schedule week in and week out. So big props to Logan. But yeah, as you were saying, Bishop Kelly, man, they have found their footing as well. You go back, they only have 1 loss this season. It was week 1 against Emmett. And since then, they've been rolling. And it'll be interesting to see. I understand that the Emmett Valley View game was moved to tomorrow night, and that has big implications as to who wins the 4A SIC. I believe, and JT, you might know this better than I do, but I believe if Emmett wins tomorrow night, they would clinch the 4A SIC regular season championship. If they lose, then I believe Bishop Kelly would be the winner.
Yeah, they both have 1 loss right now, and at the moment, we brought up that opening loss for Bishop Kelly. That was to Emmett, so the Huskies hold the tiebreaker over the Knights. So you're right. Our thoughts are with the Emmett community. We should definitely say that tonight. They had to move that game for some personal reasons, and in our heavy hearts, no doubt. But they're going to be playing for a lot tomorrow, and I'm sure they're going to have a very spirited performance because of all of this. And you're exactly right. If Emmett can go pick up a win tomorrow over a tough Valley View squad, then the Huskies will do what many did not give them a chance to do, and somehow climb to the top of the 4A SIC. It would be a remarkable story, without a doubt. Well, a couple of other scores to pass along. Middleton absolutely rolled through Columbia tonight. How about this, though, a 3A score for you. Homedale beat Fruitland 28-14. Homedale is having a phenomenal season, and it's actually Fruitland's first loss of the season. So I guarantee the Trojans are having an awesome night after knocking off the Grizzlies, who year in and year out don't lose very many games. Outside of that, I know you always specifically keep track of Weiser. They rolled through Parma tonight, 42-0 the final, Will.
Let's go Wolverines, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, Will, appreciate it, bud. Big game tomorrow. We got to wrap this thing up because we got Boise State football kicking off in 16 hours or so, maybe a little bit more than that. But big game tomorrow on the Blue. We finally get to see the Broncos in action, and we have a whole hour-long pregame show that starts at 4 o'clock on Channel 7 tomorrow. We'll take everybody right up till kickoff. But give me something quick, Will. What are you excited about for tomorrow?
Yeah, JT, so many things. 1A is how my Cyclones do in Stillwater, by the way. Okay, that's not important, but back to Boise State. A lot of things. I gotta say, it's probably the easy answer, but I'm really excited to see JL Skinner in his sophomore year, making the switch, as we've touched on many times before, making the number switch to big number 0. A pivotal part of this Boise State defense on the back end. They lose so much experience from the last couple of years at that safety position. He steps in, and everyone within the program raves about him and his potential. And you look at him, you just look at him, and you're like, all right, that guy is a dude. So I'm excited to see him play, but man, there's so many things. But I don't want to keep rambling, so I'll keep it at JL Skinner.
In the decade I've been covering this team, Will, I don't think that I have ever been around a player that's only a sophomore and had more hype on the defensive side of the ball than JL Skinner. And it comes from all directions. not only coaches, not only the fans, but most specifically his past and present teammates. They're all excited to see this guy in action, and I agree with you, Will. Again, we're most excited to see a sophomore safety. Is that correct, Will? Out of everything?
All right, 1B, George Halani, 1B or 1C, Hank Bachmeyer.
There we go.
A trio of sophomores. There we go.
Yeah, love it, man. Love it, bud. Hey, appreciate your effort this season on Friday Night Football. It might be our last of the season. We got to get back into the newsroom, sort all this out. If there's enough teams that advance to the state playoffs and play locally, we'll try to tee it up again for one more week next week. But it's been an awesome year. I'm so appreciative of you. It's been a different season, a busy season for you with 4 o'clock kickoffs, and yeah, another 4-game week for you. Is that right, bud? Yeah, 4 more games tonight, right?
Who cares? Don't worry about it.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy.
You bet. You bet. I appreciate you, JT.
All right, man. There's so many people that help make this show happen. Our directors, Ray, Andy, Steve, Melissa in the back. Obviously, our producer, Danny. Logan, our photographer, we already brought him up. And we also said goodbye to Tyson White today, who's transitioning into a new job. But I'm so appreciative of everybody and another season of Friday Night Football that's been a success even under the pandemic. So thank you to everybody. We'll go get warm. We'll see you tomorrow on the Bronco Roundup Game Day Show. That kicks off on Channel 7 at 4 o'clock. Goes right up to 5 o'clock when the Broncos kick off against the Utah State Aggies. Get to bed, everyone. We got Boise State football tomorrow. Good night.